All right. I want to continue to make testimonies. I think that's while I have a voice, literally or metaphorically, I do want to continue to make testimony. I just heard this perp, and it's funny how they try to sound. So these people VFE2K know that they want to sound mystical or sound certain ways, right? And you hear somebody say, "You raped a child," right? And I guess they're gonna say something about that. I guess they're gonna frame me in that nature where I raped their child was the frame. And the way she's sounding is just kind of pathetic. And I'm like, no, 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 you're too good to do this thing. Just please have dignity. Of course, I know that this trash, right? These people actually work for pedophiles and have been doing this pedophile type of tormenting on others. And that shows how bottom feeders are, There's nothing there's just it's so trashy. It's unbelievable. But I think they think it's fierce, right? They even sound this way. It's kind of sad. Earlier I just dropped a video about these people in this area of making noise campaign, and you can hear how childlike individual they are. At least those are childlike individual. You gotta hear those people who are like adults who can say these things. You raped our child, and just whisper in it as if it's just like in a fierce femme fatale ish way. Like that's the best way I can describe, because they're trying to create this facade, but it's so disturbing. It's like, oh wow, such a fierce things to say. You're gonna frame me. You're gonna frame and say that I raped your child, and you're gonna use this tone of voice. Like, what kind of life is that? Can you imagine if that was what you're supposed to do? That you try to sound a certain way when you talk about the frame that you're gonna employ to create some anxiety. You see, and you have to use this tone of voice where you have to sound kind of mysticful and mysterious and fierce at the same time, saying things like, "You raped my child," or "You raped our child." Can you imagine this is your life? They don't understand that. In their mind, it's like, wow. But I just wanted to make this video because I'm going to call this video the delusional reality they've created. But it's obviously they know that that's their job. They're supposed to create that. I understand that they do their job and they're supposed to do this. They're supposed to create a narration. They're supposed to make me lose my mind in that sense, and they're supposed to distort this, that continuously push me to annoyance and disturbance. But at the same time, I gotta explain to them, like I gotta have these testimonies to talk to other target individuals that deal with these people and put things in perspective and listen what you could have been doing. These people constantly talk about how I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die in a slow death, a painful death. They're doing this to my organs, my pancreas. So, like, they're talking about all these different things. They talk about death as if death is a foreign thing, as if death is something that is happens to others, but not them. Like there's people who do harmful things to people, right? They hurt people, they kill people, they do things to people. But you always understand that these people end up understanding that there'll be a day it comes back to them. Like no matter how high or low you are, it's gonna come back. It might take a few, but death is something that you're gonna have to face. And this, especially the people that I don't know if you've been around people who've been involved in death, maybe even soldiers, and they understand death. They face death. Like they understand death in the sense that they're gonna be facing their mortality. And but these people I deal with, they're delusional to the point where when I ask, so how are you gonna die? If you tell me how so as long it's gonna take, like these people want to escape this reality, just like they want to escape the reality that they're just working for entities that do horrible things to even children. And you hear the level of delusion is that bad, right? You hear this person, and I wrote it down because I was like, oh my gosh, let me write this down before I forget. She, she, I can hear her opening the door, being somewhere where I can't tell, and she's whispering in this like fierce way. It's like, I'm so scared because I said something about death. And this she's somewhere where you're not gonna see her, perhaps behind the door, and she'll be quick to slam the door and say, you know, like she's like, it's like the level of irony that she is saying she's not scared, but she's behind some door, whispering that, using a device that can basically be, that can help, that can basically be heard in somebody's brain, so they can do this thing remotely. So she's saying how scared she is in a condescending way. It's like, I'm so scared. Being behind somebody's door, using this V2K technology that transmit the drive the voice directly to the brain, and say that with like, I'm so scared. You understand? So it's like, okay, yeah, you convinced me you are super not scared based on your bravery. This is a daring, brave person. You understand? They don't understand that they have created a logic and a rationality that is unbelievable. And she truly believed it. Like, if I didn't say that, like, probably she thought, oh, I'm going to sound super brave and daring. I'm so scared. And then slammed the door. Now, this is the kind of thing you say that when you're being seen. So I'm scared, or something like that. You don't hide behind the door or say something behind, like, where you're not going to be seen, and say, I'm so scared, and then hide. This is idiotic. But they have this level of delusional. They have this level of of rationality because they have to. I think this is a way they have to make themselves think to be damn near spectrum like. You don't understand, like, the things that make me think. Uh, they should get an award on how shameless they can be. And I'm not even trying to talk BS. Is because I couldn't do this. I couldn't embarrass myself to that level. Like, it was just, okay, this is just too much. Like, how embarrassing can I have to be? Like that, I can't do that. But these people have just like, oh, embarrassment. Ooh, never mind. I'm so scared and hiding behind something. It doesn't end there. There's this thing they made me lose my mind on this disturbing thing. So I live on a balcony. I have an apartment, and I have a balcony. And when I just moved in here, I'm kind of looking around my balcony, looking at the scene. I'm in New York, trying to see the best place to, the best view from my balcony. First week, maybe in the apartment, well, first week or two, I don't know, but just quite new to this apartment, kind of try to uh, discovering my balcony. As I'm looking, I turn around and I see, oh wow, this my neighbor's window is just right there. Now I'm like, wow, this is really close. And there's a curtain blocking most of it, and there's maybe like a little light that goes through, and that's that. You can't see anything. And I think my neighbors probably have kids or something like that. But this window is completely blocked off. There's only like a little light that comes through here. And I was like, okay, wow, that's very close. And I was like, whoa, this is really, like, it's just like, I feel like I can just like knock doing this. And I realized, oh shit, these people are gonna try to create this, they're gonna try to frame me saying something like that. And all along then, after that, they 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 start saying, oh, you see, you're looking through the window. First of all, there's nothing to look at. The window is completely covered by a curtain. There's maybe like a little angle on the side that's kind of like, let a light on, and like you can see the lights, but basically this curtain is blocked by a curtain, so you can't see anything. I think it's a sheet. I don't know if it's an actual curtain, but you can see a little bit, like, you can see the lights, like the top corner. You can see a light, and that's that. But basically, this is mostly covered by a sheet, right? So you can't see anything inside except the light coming through, like a corner, like that. And they start saying, "Oh, you see, you're a voyeur. You wanted to look at these kids. You will do this and that." It's like, oh my gosh, they start making me imagine all kind of disturbing things. Oh, it was so disgusting. Made me imagine so much disturbing things, all imaginated, all forced into this. They create these imaginations of this. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. Like, they have this ability to create, and I've talked about it. They have the ability to create imaginations. They control your thoughts to the nth degree, and your imaginations are used against you in the foulest way. Oh my gosh! In the last video, when I said there are, there was one guy who talked about how he was dealing with mental torture, And the way they torture him is thoughts and imagination manipulation. They were making me imagine like, oh, what if they were like washing the kids and they put all kind of things that are just nonsensical. They're not like really just imaginations. It's like, oh, you might be, huh? They are this delusional. They have this strong ability to create, like to dumb themselves down. And I guess it's a skill they look for when they do these things. I think that's what they're supposed to be doing. But what a pathetic life. I was thinking I could be living their life. Earlier, before making this video, they tried to go back to, I talked about how they have control of your perception. You don't have to see much, but they can create so much. For example, I can see like a little cabinet here, and if they want it, like they can create a perception that's not real. Create a sexual perception. I remember when I was walking, I talked about it, I think in one of my videos a while ago. There was this. I was coming back from a date, right? I was on a date. I was talking to my date, and I asked her, "Hey, how you feel? How do you feel?" And I hear from somewhere far somebody say, "She's like, I feel great," right? And immediately I'm like, "Oh, some this." First of all, she sounds like a child, but for her to respond to me when I asked to my date, she wants the attention. So I'm like, I don't want to go. I'm not gonna look at this kid. I know it's a kid. And so she like she goes around. I'm looking away, but I'm still kind of trying to be aware of like where I'm walking around. But as she goes around me, she goes around my date actually respond to her like, oh, you feel great, oh great, like being condescending to her. And she she walks around us, right? And as she walks around us, you can see her just walk around, and they just make me like, just the I can the perception of, but just in the perception they can I can see the end part, her butt, just like they try to create this sexual perception with this trash. You look, sorry, try to make it something else, like. And I was trying to describe like you can like this thing next to me, they can start creating some curvaceousness that's not there, because they can create my perceptions, and I would try to create. And well, this kid probably like, she look like she probably wear Pampers. I'm obvious she's not that young, but I'm saying like she's probably like a mid-teen, 16 or so. I'll give her the 16 years old. But my date was like, it's funny because my date is a perp. Um, she was like, I was asking her, how old do you think she is? My date is like 20 years old. I'm like, of course not. I don't think she's 20 years old based on the voice, but I think she wanted me to turn around. But as this kid walked, and she walked like it's like a kid that, that you probably need to, probably looks like she's just like a goofy kid, but they try to make me look at and have a perception of this kid's butt in this sexual way. It's like trash ass. They're like, oh no, there are. I can't even describe you exactly what she looks like, but just because she walked and you see this, they can create the perceptions there, and they're like, oh no, there are. Please, you tell me that you guys don't mess with perceptions, not perverted perceptions. I've never heard of that. Of course, that's what they do. And as I was saying, like you can make somebody perceive somebody in a different way, in a sexual way. Create a a, what's the word? Voluptuousness. That's not really voluptuousness, but in your head it just goes there. And because they wanted to create something out of this moment, they start creating that in a sexual way. Just imagine somebody just passed by you and you just see the end part, and they try to create some. That's what the things they do, and they want me to be like, oh no, it's me. Of course, they live in this delusional state of mind. This is the same people like, this is the type of people who want you to accept this. These people want you to be, and they use the fact that we're gonna frame you and then you're gonna get raped. So you should accept these manipulations because you're experiencing this. So it's you. We're not manipulating you. We don't do the perverse perceptions. They do all the time. Somebody can be behind me. I can see a blur or something. They start creating something. This weird look. They're delusional. They create this reality of delusion, and I think to be able to sell it, to be able to make me believe it, I think they have to make themselves believe it. They have to make themselves think that It makes like I think it's part of these tactics of, okay, if I sell it to myself, I'm going to make you believe this. Yes, you know about all this technology that is capable of manipulating your perception. You've been perceived to see things completely. I saw a the biggest perception manipulation they've done to me is there was a plastic dark black bag that went down, fell down from the building for less than like in a second or so. That black bag in my head, I swear I perceived it as a whole car, a whole car. And then I had to like, wait, what? Doesn't even make sense. And then I was able to see the bag for what it was, just a black plastic bag. They completely have control, and sometimes they, when they want to show off, they can show off. But I don't think they want to make it obvious that there's that much control. So whatever they can try to do, they're gonna try to make you look at kids in the most sexual way possible. If there's nothing, they're gonna create something. So that blur of her just walking by, oh, they try to like it was something else, like this goofy looking kid, this goofy, even the way she sounded, I just, it's just, but they can create this sexual perception of like giving curvaceousness that's not really there, or that's not should not be seen that in this way. It's disgusting. This trash that needs to probably get some pampers changed. Like it's just disgusting. And now you have this childlike individual that now they force you to imagine in a sexual way. And mind you, throughout when I heard her talk, they want to look at her as like, oh, she wants to be seen. They're gonna do some perception. I look away, but I still try to keep an eye on or in my surrounding. She walks by me, and not by me. She walks by the other way, and I can when she walks, her butt is, and they start create some. It's just like, oh, you see, you wanna sue you. So to all my target individual, you gotta be strong. They're gonna continuously try to dumb you down. They really, really want you to dumb you down. They have dumbed themselves down to sell this narration. It's just this is what I'm gonna call this delusional reality they've created. And I think that they're obviously doing it to sell off these narrations. You know, can you imagine being behind the door whispering, "I'm so scared"? Huh? Yeah, you sound like you're scared. What would you say like that? Well, at least come around me and say you're so scared, or just walk around my door, say, like something like that. When I can, but you can't sound fierce doing that. You can't sound fierce saying, "Oh, you raped our children. You rape a child." What's It's the most disgusting ways to. It's nothing fierce about that. They come up with this so. So I make these videos because now it helps to talk about it. It put things in perspective, but at the same time, is I know that this everything they do to me is systematic. Everything is done systematic. Somebody else is going through this, and if I can help one person, it'll be perfect. It'll be great. And also, of course, I do find benefits of me speaking out loud and watching it. And who knows, they have control of my vocal cords. They have full control of my vocal cords. They can control my vocal cord. They can stop me from speaking. I remember I was with somebody and I was talking and I started like my voice just completely like just went down. And I know they play my vocal cords and I can it's only just know that there'll be a time when I won't even be able to have a voice. Literally. So if that's the case, let me just record what I'm saying, calm down and say things that will need to be said. Um and when I can't speak and I'm still around, I can always listen to my own videos. And if I'm not around, at least somebody could see this and maybe help them. It could just be one person. That's enough because I've been, you know, just by the last video when I was talking about their ears, they are. Do you understand how much of the testimonies I was able to just find? It was not that hard. And I didn't. It was not like looking so like. I think within a week, everything, and I found everything. It's not like deep. Like I was like shocked. You know, when you look for something, and then you find, oh, like what? Is this specific? Like to the point where everything, like they do things so systematically. I was so surprised. Like, oh my god, it's like literally what I'm going through. It's that specific. And so, if me speaking can help somebody else to know that there is, there are tactics, methods that they have been applying to most of the as target individual, that you shouldn't be like subscribing to these people. These people are their job is to brainwash you into accepting this thing as if it's you. That's the job. You have your whole ecosystem that was supposed to make you accept this. I'm talking about even EMTs, fire departments, different, like even the law enforcement. Like you hear everybody around you. This is a program that is systematically prepared to break a target individual while implementing this technology that is unbelievable. So stay strong and do not subscribe to this. Please stay strong because justice will be done. These people have not thought about their death. They don't even think about it. They think death is somebody else's. Like they're like, oh, we're scared, but hiding behind. Are you gonna die slow? Look at you. You know, I think I have a video of when I went to the laundromat. And it was this person. She's trying to walk, and you can see her. When I filmed her initially, oh, she turned super red. She's like, and I'm looking at her. It's like, see this, you see how weak you get. And then when I stopped filming her, she found the courage when she walks away. I'll die. It's like you're gonna die slow. It's like yes, I'll die slow, but you don't know how long you're gonna live for. Do you know how you're gonna die? You're going to do a die fast? You don't know that, right? You tell me I'm gonna rape you. You watch me get raped. Do you know if you're ever gonna get raped? My point is they don't know what's coming. Me, whatever I'm gonna go through, I find death in the dignity in this death, and I don't think I'm gonna run away from it. I don't, because there's too much dignity in this death. So to all my target individuals, stay strong. And as much manipulation as I'm experiencing right now, I will continuously make videos and testimonies as much as they try to disturb me right now, because I find dignity in this death. So do the same. I'm not saying that to give up or anything. Fight till the end, but do not be scared. You're on the right side of things. I couldn't imagine I'm on the righteous side of of whatever's happening. And I know who put me, like these people. They try to make me forget the reality of who put me in this program. Like I see them as the bottom feeder. I know they're not the people responsible for me being in this program. They're just the people who deploys these things, these tactics, these methods. It's their job. They're just the bottom feeders, truly. Now their job is to day in and day out to make me break me down, make me subscribe to these things, and probably frame me and all that. Because they're the bottom feeders that's supposed to be doing that. The people who put me in this program are just probably watching and just whatever, just watching, doing their things. It's them. It's their job to do these things to me because these people who put me in this program expect this. So stay strong, and no justice will be done because you could have been these bottom feeders working for people who we know at this point there's a lot of pedophiles, and have dumbed themselves down to the nth degree to make you accept these things, to brainwash you into accepting this. And I'm here to help. And I think that you, as a target individual, should is your job to talk about it. Talk about what's happening to you. I guarantee you, somebody else will find strength in that. So stay strong.